Evacuations are underway in the Red Wing Canyon area, and the Shadows Canyon area is on standby. Arizona Forestry says there's zero containment, and it's unclear if any structures have been lost. The Arizona Office of Tourism.
All right, more of Arizona on fire.
Pledge with the Mexican state of Sonora in hopes of bolstering the industry on both sides. KTAR's Luke Forstner is live in the news center with more on the story.
Becky, the pledge in ways to continue to promote.
Maybe I need to get a job running soundboards for KTAR.
Becky, the pledge is about finding ways to continue to promote tourism between the two states, which Arizona Office of Tourism Director Lisa
you can't have an input and an output going to the same place at the same time where it feeds back.
Mexico is Arizona's largest international visitor. In 2021, we had 2.5 million Mexican visitors who spent about $702 million here.
She says potential ideas to increase tourism include making travel more convenient with more flights, promoting specific attractions like culinary and rodeo tourism, and expanding connections such as sister city relationships. Live from the News Center, Luke Forstner, KTAR News.
It's time to take a look at the roads again. Here's Chuck Rowe in the Valley Chevy Dealers Traffic Center.
Thank you, Becky Lynn. Let's go back to the I-17. That's where all the action is right now as far as the freeways are concerned. There's a vehicle fire, I-17 southbound, right at the I-10 stack. Fire department's on the scene. They've got the right lane taken away. Now, we did have troubles north of the valley. A crash, I-17 southbound before Table Mesa. That's in the clearing stages. I am seeing delays from about that Black Canyon City exit, which is number 244. Once you get south of there, there was another vehicle fire, I-17 southbound at New River Road. Looks like that's been cleared up there. All the slowing is cleared at that location. 7th Avenue at Van Buren. Watch for a crash there downtown. Also Camelback Road at 75th Avenue, a wreck. 43rd Avenue southbound, just south of or just after I-10. There's a crash. It's been there for a while. Car stuck underneath of a tanker truck. And in the city of Maricopa, the 347 southbound at Bolin Road, a crash just reported. This traffic report brought to you by Asset Preservation, Wealth and Tax. I'm Chuck Rowe, KTAR News.
Excessive heat continues. 86 overnight for the low, 114 possibly tomorrow, and about the same for Friday and Saturday. Right now we've hit 110 in Gilbert. Weather brought to you by Howard Air. Whether replace or repair, call Howard Air. I'm Becky Lynn on Arizona's news station, KTAR News. The Gatos and Chad Show.
I remembered to put in my sunshade when I got home from working at HelloFresh this morning. I worked for HelloFresh last night, by the way. All things considered, I'm going to say it went really well. There were moments I was definitely questioning life decisions and thinking about walking out, but I toughed it out and I stuck with it. My friend Malika saved my ass. I do want to talk about that a little bit later. I'm not sure if KTAR just said the time or not, but it's 3:06 p.m. Wednesday, July 5th. A lot of people had Monday as a holiday. Most everybody had Tuesday as a holiday, which I think is probably why Winolo had HelloFresh in as options. Short week this week. I'll be honest, I have not, since waking up, I have not fully scrutinized my email inboxes. And it occurred to me yesterday that I've been watching my main email inbox like hawk, but I haven't been watching my LCM inbox very closely at all. And that I really need to do that, and I'm just kind of kicking myself in the ass for not being diligent about it and wondering, like, wow, how many job offers are just sitting there that I've maybe been missing out on. And for those that are like, wait, LCM email box, what the hell is that? Because that's not something I've mentioned in quite some time. So if you've been following the vlog for a long time, or if you haven't, you want to go back in time and see what led to this train wreck that my life is right now. When I started this vlog, my life was a bigger mess than it is now. You can believe it or not. My mental health was considerably worse. My issues with memory and focus, they kind of ebb and tide. And they ebb and tide largely based upon how, oh wow, I just noticed I'm driving on cool pavement. Nice. That's a Phoenix thing. I've talked about it before. I'm not going to get sidetracked talking cool pavement right now, but I just noticed I'm driving on some, and that makes me happy. As contrary to popular rumor that was going around, that's not something that Phoenix is just doing in rich neighborhoods. All right, look at this big fucking truck here. Hey, why stop at a light in the left turn arrow, or in the left turn lane, or in the straight lane when you can park in both of them? Thanks, asshole. Anyway, so I totally did get sidetracked by cool pavement. Bad damn. I like his parking spot under the shade tree there. Oh, and these are most useless bike lanes in town because they're also parking lanes. Like, what was the point of designating bike lanes? Anyway. Oh, by the way, I guess I should start by saying where the hell I'm going. I'm heading back out to Prologistix. Now, I didn't, since I was told I lost the job, let's kind of recap my last couple weeks, because I've been definitely oversharing. Well, for a while there, I wasn't sharing anything, because I was, again, so depressed I couldn't bring myself to get out of bed. But since I've kind of snapped out of that, I've been oversharing like crazy. In fact, I think I'm only up to like Friday afternoon for posting the vlog right now, and it's Wednesday afternoon, so I haven't hit that whole week behind point, but I'm close to it. And to be fair, I got up today, and my focus is on trying to get more work. Sorry about that. I was shooting video with Obamaphone 3, and it overheated. Yeah, it's hot as hell in Phoenix right now. In fact, I'm getting that sweat that happens in the cracks of my eyes that burns and stings a little bit when I'm driving. Air conditioning working pretty good in the car. It's definitely cooled off. So it's not in the 1-teens in the car right now. I would not accuse it of being cold. My pits and my belly are sweating a little bit, but it's not brutal hot in here, which is a good thing. But yeah, I did get the sweat when it was, when I first got in the car, it was so hot I did get the sweat going on in my eyes, and that's stinging a little bit. I hate it when that happens. But hey, at least I remembered to use my sunshade. So now, since I've been in the car, the top of the steering wheel, oh yeah, it's very, very hot to the touch. The bottom half, which is generally what I use when I'm driving, I'm one of those guys. It's probably, I've seen like driver's ed videos where you're supposed to have your hand on the 2 and the 10. When I drive, it's a bad driving habit, and it's a habit I got into when I was 14 years old, 15 years old. I started driving at a really young age because I lived in a rural Wyoming town, and I had the option of driving on roads that were not public roads and learning to drive in that environment. I got into a bad habit that I picked up from, honestly, probably from my stepfather, and to be honest, I've not noticed if my mother does this, but I remember my stepfather did this, where I typically drive with one hand in the 6 o'clock position. Yes, my driver's ed teacher did yell at me about it. Yes, I put my hands on the 2 and the 10 when I was driving in driver's ed my sophomore year of high school, which was like, what, 1985, 86, somewhere in there. Yeah, haven't really done a whole lot of that since. And I tell you, that was in Douglas, Wyoming, where it's it was driver's ed class. It was probably in the mid 50s outside. So burning steering wheel not an issue, but oh yeah, 2 in the 10 position. they're warm, and the 11 to 1 o'clock position. My steering wheel is so hot to the touch it can't even really be touched. But the bottom half is nice and cool. So anyway, wasn't going to digress into a talk about the struggles of driving in Phoenix, Arizona in the summertime. But yeah, I'm driving to Phoenix, Arizona. Hey, look, there goes a van with a Domino's pizza delivery hat on it. I do think I want to try and contact the manager that I had my interview with. I think I do want to try to contact him. My interview was scheduled with one person who's obviously like a kind of I don't want to say corporate, because it actually, and I don't know if I've clarified this, it wasn't corporate that I had an interview with. I had an interview with a large franchisee who apparently owns a large amount, I highly doubt all, but at least a large amount of the Domino's locations across the Phoenix area. I forget what the company's called. I want to say it's like Phoenix Inc. or something like that. And it's a clever spelling of Phoenix, like F-E-N-I-X. Maybe it was Phoenix Pizza Inc. or something like that. I don't remember. And honestly, it doesn't make a whole lot of difference as far as what I would be doing. But just to clarify, like, who I actually had my interview with. It wasn't with Domino's Pizza Corporate. It wasn't with an individual store location either. So the person I had the interview with, I got a feeling he's like a kind of a bigwig for the person who scheduled my interview, who I did talk with a little bit. I don't remember his name. In fact, I don't remember either of their names, although I remember one of them has a very unusual, hard to pronounce name. The guy who has the very normal name that I forgot, he's obviously somebody who I see flashy party lights coming up ahead. I don't want to be in this lane. I don't even think I want to be in this lane. Because there's going to be people at the last second who come over from the right lane, and I don't want them cutting me off. Defensive driving maneuver. Always trying to anticipate stuff before you come up on it. Of course, all the good defensive driving I'm doing now doesn't change the fact that I have two violations on my record and 4 points off my license, which might be why Domino's isn't contacting me back. It might be why the car rental place contractors for moving cars aren't calling me back. But my party lights on the right. Up there. There's a cop pulled over with his lights flashing. He's directly in front of a bus, so I think there's a good chance that the city bus is probably overheated and stuck there. That happens a lot here in the summertime, and I don't even feel like I can slight Valley Metro for that. When it gets into the 1-teens, things get challenging in that department. Cars that are good running cars overheat. Vehicles like buses that are fine overheat. It's just kind of what it is. I mean, granted, the drivers probably could watch gauges and prevent that to a point. But speaking of which, my temperature gauge is sitting right at the 50% mark, so all is good on that front. My hair is blowing fairly cold. So I think once this phone reaches its 10-minute limit, I can. It's too bright in the car to see where it is. It makes a little dink sound though when it hits the 10-minute mark. So I think I'm good to keep. But when this thing hits its 10-minute mark, I go back to shooting video on Obamaphone 3. By the way, I'm on Obamaphone 5 right now, in case the video quality doesn't make that obvious. I did notice before I started videoing with it, in that little gap as I was driving across the east side of Central Phoenix, that it had a little lens protector, a little thin plastic protector over the lens. So possibly it looks a little bit better with that gone. Peel that off. I still haven't actually looked at any of the video footage from Obamaphone 5, but being that it's an ANS, I expect it to be awful. Although, unlike my previous ANS phone, it does appear to be shooting in a 16:9 aspect ratio, so I'm optimistic towards that. Hello and welcome back, YouTube. Not too much time passed since that video ended, because I knew it was going to end at exactly 10 minutes, shooting with Obamaphone 5. Back on Obamaphone 3, it is 3:24 p.m. I did not anticipate this traffic snarl. Everything is reducing down to one lane. I don't know if it's 2 lanes or 1 lane. I don't think I want to stick with it though. I got a feeling it's just going to be, I just turned right on 21st Avenue and I got a feeling it's just going to be me just stuck not moving all the way from there to I-17. And the I'm wanting to get on Grand, and the transition from Thomas to Grand is not so good. Now, just that little bit of being stuck in traffic, my temperature gauge has gone up. It's still well within the range of not overheating, but it's gone up noticeably, and it seems to still be climbing a little bit. So I'm gonna turn off the air conditioning, which I'm sure is just gonna result in this stupid phone overheating soon. This is not one of those neighborhoods where I know every street, so I'm just kind of driving by instinct here. I saw something going across up ahead. I'm pretty sure that is okay. I'm coming up on the roundabout. Oh no, I'm coming up on a stop sign at Osborne. Osborne is a functional thoroughfare between where I'm at and I-17 northbound. Oh my God, it did not take me turning off the air long for it to just get straight brutal in here. Wow, that sun is not playing today. I was gonna say I was coming up on the roundabout, but that's the roundabout right there. That's 21st Avenue. There's a video I've shown on YouTube. Phoenix drivers do not know how to drive in roundabouts. That guy was just straight up just sitting there like he's at a stop sign. Although to be fair, this is such a tight roundabout that it's kind of hard to do proper roundabout rules on it. But yeah, there's a video, and it bears me linking again. I've talked about before. One of the local news channels, it's from a couple years ago, where there's been a ridiculous amount of roundabouts of that accident, just due to drivers not paying attention and Phoenix drivers not knowing how to drive in roundabouts, and mostly people not paying attention and speeding on a residential street where they shouldn't be speeding, and just plowing right into the center of the roundabout and seeing it the last second and losing control and then landing in people's front yards as well. That transition worked nice on the northbound I-17 access road. I'm gonna go across Indian School. I did think I mentioned already, I'm trying to remember if it was the part that I cut myself off because Obamaphone 3 overheated, but I think I mentioned that I'm on my way to Prologistix, and I was trying to focus on what's going on with my job hunt. And then I got sidetracked by so many other things, because that's how my brain wanders all over the road as I'm driving, which is fine. My number one priority when driving is getting my destination efficiently and being a safe driver, which I feel like I'm doing. I did have my iPhone open so I could watch my traffic view, but I haven't really been doing that because I have yet to make get another phone holder for it, or find another phone holder for it. And speaking of holders for it, you know, what I had talked about doing was putting it like maybe down here, putting it down here, or someplace further forward for my traffic view. Oh yeah, iPhone is overheated just sitting down near my center console. It's already to the point where it's shit the bed. It's shit the bed just from idling in hot car. So so even if I was trying to look at it, that's done. I'm gonna put it down in my pocket in the left door. Oh goodness. Obamaphone 5 could be giving me my traffic right now, I think, but I don't have that configured yet, and that's not something I can do while I'm driving. Gas gauge. It's It's right at the halfway mark. Oh, I cannot believe I missed that fucking light. When I-17 was widened and redone in the mid-90s, this was the first intersection that ADOT did. And it's huge. Absolutely huge for Indian School and I-17. It is, I'm reasonably sure, the widest strode at its crossing point of I-17. But this was the first intersection design, the first one done, like it is. And it basically, they just massively increased the size of the dysfunctional intersection that was already here, as opposed to putting in what's referred to as an urban intersection, which allows for six-way traffic and left turn traffic from the access roads onto the stroads above the intersection to cross paths, and also left turns from the stroads onto the freeway access roads to also cross paths. Those are notably more treacherous for pedestrians, although they're both shit intersections for pedestrians. Wow, we got a homeless person getting ready to walk in front of me. You go, girl. She looks like she cleaned up okay. I can't help it. That's where my mind wanders when the so-called girlfriend isn't taking care of certain needs of mine, which hasn't been happening. Yeah. Speaking of needs, my temperature gauge was starting to go down. I was hoping I could turn my air conditioning back on, but starting to climb up again. It's still under the 3/4 mark, so I feel pretty good. But yeah, it'd be nice to have some air conditioning on. It's getting hot as hell in this car. Did bring some cold Mountain Dew with me. I did not finish my second one at HelloFresh. I want to talk about the work experience at HelloFresh, by the way. Hopefully I'll get to that. I need to get over a lane because my plan is to transition onto Grand, and I need to focus and pay attention when I come into this intersection, because I know this one's a little confusing coming into it from right here, and I know I've done it wrong before. I hate to be the guy who weaves in and out and goes into the right lane and passes people, but I'm not weaving. I'm trying to get to the right lane, because I know I need to be in the right lane for the transition. It's not an intersection that I often go through in this direction, so I need to be prepared. Oh, I was prepared for the exit. You can see the sign up above, Grand Avenue, 35th Avenue North. I was prepared for the exit. I wasn't prepared for the bus. You know, when I end up this close behind the bus, I genuinely feel the safest thing to do is just wait for it. Which, of course, begs the question, is it stuck there because it's overheating and not going anywhere? Is he in the process of loading passengers and they're in line trying to pay their fare? Is he dealing with securing a wheelchair? I have no way of knowing. So I'm right here, stuck for an indeterminate amount of time as my temperature gauge goes up. Yeah, all the vehicles behind me are doing very unsafe things, trying to get out of this lane. Okay, now we got right turn traffic coming off of 31st Avenue. I thought I had a safe gap, but I didn't. Okay, I have a safe gap now. Yeah, the driver is standing up and like not in his seat, so God knows what he's dealing with. I think he's going to be there for a while. You know, I almost wish there was like a light on the back of the bus to indicate this is technically on an intersection, so I can block it. I thought it was a street for a second. It's just a really large apartment complex. You know, I haven't been watching Big Super in Arizona for a while. But that's a YouTube channel I've given many shout outs to before. I don't know why he's not showing up my recommendations. I should make an effort to look up his channel. The YouTube algorithm is weird. Sometimes it'll stop recommending a channel that you like to watch because of whatever reason. The YouTube algorithm is weird. Who knows? Maybe he said something he shouldn't have said, or maybe his viewership started to decline, so the algorithm decided, well, you know, other people are not watching Big Super anymore, so you don't want to watch Big Super anymore, which is not true. I love watching Big Super. But anyway, the reason I suddenly mentioned Big Super is that access road to the right that I was thinking was a street, and with us being an intersection, I shouldn't block. And when I realized it's just technically a driveway, and this is the intersection that messes with me. I've had times I've gone northbound on 35th Avenue when I meant to go on Grand. And other times where I forgot I was exiting Grand, and then I'm like, oh, I'm up and over in school. And I'm like, oh shit, there went the turn lane onto Grand. Because the transition to Grand is really nice. I mean, the on-ramp's a little rough because it's the oldest. That was actually the first gradient level intersection, I believe, put in all of Arizona, at least the first one in the Phoenix metro area. And yeah, Mr. Lucky's. Everybody gets lucky at Mr. Lucky's. Mr. Lucky's hasn't been open in probably 20 plus years. Hello, traffic has stopped. Damn. This is not the right time of day for me to be trying to do this drive, I'll tell you that. But just that little bit of speeding up did bring my temperature down. Not enough that I feel like I want to turn my air conditioning back on, though. Oh, the struggle is real. Wow, there's some new construction going in on the right on Grand Avenue. It is not often I see any kind of development along Grand Avenue. Mostly what I see on Grand Avenue is buildings getting boarded up and buildings getting closed down and properties getting kind of vacated for God knows what in the future, and old buildings turning into titty bars. That one I just passed there on the right, 3790. I'm sure the address is 3790 Northwest Grand, but it's technically West Grand. The address is on Grand number by how far west you are. And yeah, most of them will say Northwest Grand, which is silly. That one's been, I don't know what its name is now, and it looks different than I recall it, but it's been a titty bar as long as I can remember. And I don't know what this building is here on the right. This one's been boarded up as long as I can remember. This is Alhambra School District on it, but it's just sitting vacant. So my guess is it's probably, being that I can see a school bus barn behind it, I would say it's property that's held by the Alhambra School District, but they're just simply choosing not to use or hanging on to it as investment property, which likely means it's owned by the city. It's technically owned by the city of Phoenix, and again, being held on to as investment property. There have been many plans to turn Grand Avenue, which is also US 60, into a freeway. Oh yeah, my temperature gauge climbing up again. There are many plans to turn it into a freeway. And of course, the big hang-up is always property acquisition. So that might be, it might be in one of those property acquisition limbos. But yeah, I saw that property on the right. Oh, this isn't a good sign. I think this is 39th Avenue that I'm at right now. Oh, if I'm in gridlock at 39th Avenue, I'm looking at overheating between 39th and I don't know what the gridlock is there, but I got a feeling if I stay in that line of traffic, since it's gridlocked at 39th, I don't understand why it's gridlocked. That is not a normal place for it to be gridlocked, because at 43rd and Camelback, Grand goes up and over, so that's probably an accident. But all I know is if I stay in gridlock, not moving, I'm looking at having an overheated car. So I don't know if my fan, I don't know what the deal is. I don't know if my fan has blown a fuse again. and it's just not operating, or what. But obviously, the temperature gauge is climbing up and getting stuck in. This is why I chose not to do that. One of the two main reasons I chose not to do that delivery gig at Axle Hire that I keep getting offered on work while. It's kind of funny. One of the guys I was working with at HelloFresh last night actually told me about that. It's like, oh, well, you can blah, blah, get the work while app and you can get these routes on Axle Hire. I'm like, yeah, my car's not really good for that. Yeah, just that little bit of driving I did drop my temperature gauge from the 3/4 mark to the space directly in between the 3/4 mark and half mark. So cooling system's working great. Radiator's working great. Like, all that's good. And it's possible my fan is working great. That's just the challenges of this particular car in 110 degree plus weather. For what it's worth, my Saturn SL, which was like a brand new car back in 2002, it didn't like coming up into Phoenix. I lived in Tucson when I drove that car, but it didn't like coming up to Phoenix into the 1-teens either. Its air conditioning was usually pretty worthless in the 1-teens. I had to watch the temperature gauge. Yeah, it's going up again. Damn. Hey, but at least Obamaphone 3 hasn't overheated, so that's something. At least oh wow. If y'all saw the homeless encampments on the right, there's quite a homeless encampment going on over there. Driving just north of Brightgate Recycling, which is the place I like to recycle my aluminum cans and Type 2 bottles, and occasionally steel, although I rarely have enough to make it worth my while to bring that to them. I don't know that I'm sitting on enough recycling to warrant trying to take a trip here, because it pays so little nowadays. But just thought of that, driving so close to them. And this is not the route that I ever take to go to Brightgate. I usually take I-10 to 35th and then turn left and back road it in. It's a former Kmart on the left. Not quite sure what that building is now. In fact, it looks mostly unoccupied, but it's got a construction fence around it. And welcome back, YouTube. So it turns out I spoke too soon about Obamaphone 3 not overheating, because it did. So I ended up taking Indian School all the way to Loop 101. I was able to, at a red light. My iPhone feels like the damn thing is on fire, but it's out of overheat mode. And at least I was able to see that there's no traffic on the 101 right now. So I'm doing the 101 just on up to Glendale Avenue, almost to my destination, and it's 3:54 plus 3 minutes, so 3:57. I'm going to be getting there just a little bit after 4 o'clock. Pretty sure they're open until 5, so it's been a hell of a rough journey. At one point, I actually my temperature gauge went down. Well, it went down a lot quicker now that I got on the freeway. But at one point, I was making good enough time on, without the stop and go on Indian School, that the temperature gauge got down to halfway, which is where I feel comfortable to turn the air conditioning on. And it actually got pretty cool in the car pretty quick, which is how I was able to cool down Obamaphone 3, which is what I'm shooting on again, enough to start shooting video again. Although it had just in the last couple miles that it's having the air on put enough extra stress on it that it started getting warm again, so I had to turn it off. But nice and cool right now. Boy, it's just amazing, like two miles of uninterrupted freeway, what that does for my I just did not exit at Cardinals Way. I totally did. F me. This is an option for going straight. I'm going straight. Cardinals Way, the street that should be called Bethany Home Road. And when the Arizona Cardinals eventually move on to a bigger and better stadium, which always happens eventually, the naming of that street is just going to sound stupid. At least Maryland is still called Maryland. I often forget that there's an intersection for Maryland right here. That's kind of how the intersection for 79th Avenue, I feel, should be. But I still wonder if they'll ever finish 79th Avenue northbound from I-10. I got an oversized pickup getting ready to pass me on the left. That's fine. That's where it's supposed to do that. Just that little bit of going faster on the freeway made all the difference in the world to my temperature gauge and being able to turn on the air and just get a little thermometer to put in here so I can see what the ambient air temperature is. But I tell you, it varies wildly throughout different parts of the car. And obviously, with the issues I'm having with phones overheating when I do video in the day, it's considerably hotter up, here where the phone mount is, versus where I'm sitting, versus even like at one point it was like I reached over and I realized the sun was beating through my windshield onto the passenger seat, and I had all my devices sitting on the passenger seats. They were functionally cooking. I've got the most video recording devices I have been rolling with in ages right now, by the way. I'm glad this came on because I really was thinking to myself, like, what would I be talking about right now if I was still able to record? And granted, I should be talking about so much important things like what happened last night and what's going on today. Like, everything's happened since my vlog on the way to HelloFresh, and a lot has happened. I'm not even trying to get there now because I know I ain't got time. But yeah, I'm rolling with a ridiculous amount of devices, and I'm bringing them all into Prologistix because I know I'll be sitting there waiting for a bit. At least I expect to be sitting there waiting for a bit. But I have, are you ready? Here's the roll call. I got my first iPhone 6s Plus. It's current, because I do currently own 2 iPhones right now. One of them is completely out of commission. But I got first iPhone 6s Plus. I got Obamaphone 3, Obamaphone 4, Obamaphone 5. But wait, there's more. I have the Motorola Droid 4. Oh yeah, that still exists, and there's a reason that one's with me. I can't wait to explain that. That's 5. And 6, let me introduce another device. I know I've mentioned it in passing a couple of times, but it's finally entering the fold. But I'm gonna call that Allison's old tablet. Oh yeah. By the way, my daughter has returned. That's the biggest news that I haven't got to. Talking about all kinds of stupid shit like boarded up Kmart's. My daughter has been missing. I've been freaked out and panicked about. Almost went as far as to file a missing persons report towards the weekend. And the only reason I didn't was because I was getting reports from her boyfriend or ex-boyfriend or whatever he is up in Portland, that he had heard that she had made an appearance on Thursday, and she yeah, I think this is Glen Harbor. Yes, it is. Yeah, so I came home from my long freezing shift. Oh yeah, it was a freezing shift. I'm gonna explain that later. Long freezing shift. That was a successful shift at HelloFresh. Does it make me want to work at HelloFresh? Kinda, maybe. It's complicated. I'll explain that later. I'm just about to my destination. I'm ready to get out of this. So hot. And just that last little bit being on the freeway, like, it's actually getting comfortable in the car again, and the temperature gauge is right where it should be. But it's a challenge. What can I say? God, speaking of challenges, can I find some shaded parking? We're doing the shaded parking challenge right now. It does not look like it. Nope, I don't see anything that resembles shaded parking. I do see 2 designated electric vehicle parking spots with a charger at it. That's different and unexpected. I guess I'm parking here. I gotta wrap this up. Oh, by the way, in the last little gap where I didn't record, I managed to break the lid on my center console a little bit. That's fucking fabulous. Whoa! Whoa, 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 whoa! I just found 3 bottles of unopened Mountain Dew looking in my back seat. That's random. Somewhere while I was doing this third segment of video here, the second segment on Obamaphone 3, the Obamaphone 5 has disappeared. I'm sure it's just under the seat somewhere, but damned if I can find it. That's some ridiculous crap. Yeah, I don't know where the hell it went. Anyway, yeah, so I got home and my missing person was crashed on my couch. So... Oh, and of course, the first thing I saw that made me know that she was there before I even saw her there is that the, I mean, make sure all my chargers are unplugged because they will overheat in this hot-ass car. Oh, and I better put my sun shield plate, sun shield plate. Holy shit, what am I thinking? That is not the time to forget that. I walk into my kitchen, and I got an area just to the left of my washing machine on the counter where I put in like this device that I bought when I was in, I'll show it off on my vlog when I was in Portland, but this device that I bought at a Ross in Portland that you plug into an outlet, where you have two outlets, just a regular double outlet, and it turns it into 6 grounded outlets, which I already have a couple of those, but this one takes it one step farther. You get 6 grounded outlets. It also has a surge protection in it, and then it also gives you 4 5-volt USB A-hole outlets. So yeah, that area sometimes serves as a charging station. And I walk in, and I see a device laying there charging, and I'm like, what the hell is this? And I'm thinking, oh, Allison charging her phone. Okay. And no, she's charging my fucking Droid 4. I don't know what she thinks she's going to do with that, because I mean, I've gone through, there were several vlogs dedicated to me trying to make that device useful, like almost 2 years ago, and pretty much coming to the conclusion that it's just obsolete in today's world, and that the only purpose it still serves is camera and camcorder if I dock it on my Windows computer and use USB to pull it across. There's no doing, even though it will connect to a Wi-Fi network, there's absolutely no doing anything useful with it on a Wi-Fi network. And there's no getting any apps to work, really any apps to work on it. But apparently she thought she'd do something with it and she plugged it in. It must have just barely happened before I got home because it hardly has any charge on it. It's sitting in the glove box. It can stay in the glove box. Obamaphone 5, I don't have time to dig around the car looking for it, so I'm going in with iPhone, Obamaphone 3, which I'm still recording with, Obamaphone 4, which I haven't, that's not an option for shooting video right now because it's out of space. Maybe I can work on that. And, I should do something about my hair, but my hair is disgusting right now. I'm a sweaty mess. There's no fixing that. And that's just something, hopefully I talked to the same career developer that I was talking to last time, although I'm doubtful I'll talk to the same person, but hopefully I will. I've talked to like 3 people here, and it's always been really good rapport with these guys. I just haven't been coming here since the job ended, which was something I was going to explain. I didn't really get to it, but I haven't been coming here since my job at the furniture warehouse ended, just because I'm just like, no, I don't want anything to do with going that far fucking west. Now, these guys are valley-wide. It's my understanding they have at least 1 or 2 more HR offices. I need to find out where they are. It's fucked if I want to come back out here ever again. But, they actually offered me 2 jobs the last time I was here, and I turned them both down. So... And one of them was definitely within a reasonable walking distance. I just chose it because I felt the job at Williams-Sonoma was better, and that job was like basically loading tile, which was super heavy. And I just figured it would be, it's like, yeah, it's way too physically demanding. I think I'll pass so you guys have something open up before left. Anyway, I'm a lot more desperate right now. So going in, wish me luck. Thanks for coming along on the hot, sweaty journey.